Welcome back to my channel. Now I'm out on the big garage build and it's the time in the job where I'm going to take over now and start getting all of the timber work done for all of these structures here. So what it consists of is some big stud sections which go all the way around. We've got some oak king post trusses which go on top of that. Then we'll pitch the roof over the top of that, and between the two garages, which are exactly the same, is a beautiful oak walkway with posts and trusses, oak rafters. So the first thing I need to do is get down to the timber merchant, have a look at my timber that I've ordered to make sure it's exactly what I want, brilliant stuff, which is what I'm aiming to find. Then we'll go round to the workshop and we'll see the oak that's arrived there for us to build all the other bits too. So keep tuned. I've arrived down at the timber merchant to have a look at the actual timber that's going to go out on the lorry tomorrow and land on site. Now I like to do this because I like to physically see the material, especially when you're ordering hundreds of lengths of structural timber. I've been using this company since 1986. I used to come in on a moped, not to this particular branch. This is in New Malden in South London, but their branch in Sutton, and I used to pick a few bits and pieces up. I had little private jobs like shelving or doing a little sort of a lock on the door for people, and that used to make my money up during my apprenticeship. So anyway, we're going to go and have a look at the material now, chat to the lads about the logistics and the delivery and so on. So let's get going. So this is the first pack of timber. There's 100 lengths, 100 3.6s of 150 by 50 C24. It's all treated, of course, and this is pretty standard construction material. So all of this material here is for the walls or the perimeter walls. I'm going to get 2 studs out of each one. They're around about 1.9 meters tall once I've got the head plates and the sole plates on. It's exactly the stuff we need. It's nice and straight, it's nice and true, it's not too wet. This will get loaded up onto the truck. I'll go and find the other bits of stuff which are much longer. Another secret about building is making sure you can use the resources that are available. So the lorry that will be delivering out my material has obviously got a large crane on the back so it can lift the material. Many years ago that wasn't possible unless you had a forklift on site, and we never did on small works. We'd have to handball it all off, and if you've got 200 lengths of timber coming, even if there's 2 or 3 of you, that can take a good hour or so. This is lovely because this lorry can pull up and can pretty much land it exactly where we want it. That just saves a lot of time. So when you're looking for material, it's not just about price, okay? It's about lots of things. Price is one thing, but only one thing. The quality of the material for me is the most important thing. Secondly, the service, okay? So what I expect once I've placed an order is to know that they're going to get it roughly when they say they're going to deliver it, and they're going to be able to deliver it in an efficient manner for me. So I would even pay a little bit more per meter for material, knowing that it can get lifted off for me, because the labor it saves is way more than the difference in price between one supplier and another supplier, okay? So it's really key that you do your homework and make sure you don't go and buy something that gets delivered to you on a curbside delivery, for example. They won't even go into the property, and that can happen, all right? So just buyer beware, just watch out for that. So this is the lorry. They're going to load it all up for us, and then first thing in the morning they're going to bring it down to us, and that's brilliant because I can get stuck into it. So behind me is the other pack of timber that I've got. Now they're long lengths, they're 6 meter lengths, and what they're mainly for are rafters, head plates and sole plates. So they're all the long stuff, and the guys, what they're actually doing is splitting the pack up, and this will enable the crane to give it the position it needs when we get out on site. So even something like that, knowing how much weight per lift is super important. And that's the beauty of working with a specialist supplier, a decent supplier, who can actually take care of these really little logistical issues. And they mean a lot to me. It's only through experience when something turns up and they say can't lift it, can't get it to there, because they didn't have that information. So it's really important to make sure you give your supplier the information. So there's the material. Again, it's really nice, it's lovely and straight, it's not too wet. That's going to be landing out with me, as I say, anytime soon. And the only other bit of material that's going out with this is OSB. This is obviously for the sheathing. This is 18mm OSB. We've got around about 32, 33 sheets of that going out as well. So that'll go on with those other bits of timber. and we're away. Another really important factor when you come to buy timber or any other building material, all this sawn treated material is stored inside, and I think that makes a big difference as well, because if it gets out on site and it's really sopping wet, it's heavier, it's harder to use, and also it will shrink back a little bit as well. It will take on a little bit of that moisture, and dimensionally it could change. The timber is also called eased edge. What that means is that the edges are rounded off. It used to be dead sharp, and you used to get a lot more splinters out of it, so it's a lot safer to handle as well. And the material is regularized, so all the material comes up the same size. So years ago, when I used to buy sawn carcassing, it used to vary, and sometimes it was, some bits were 3 mil or 4 mil bigger or smaller than each other. So you'd have to sort all the timber out as soon as it went out on site. With this material, other than looking down the timber to get the bow in the right direction, that is it. One of the other parts of the project is the joinery that we're making, and we're actually going to be making the garage doors and the pedestrian doors all from oak. So I'm also having a look at the material. This particular material is American white oak, and you can see that there's lots and lots of it stocked here. There's all sorts of hardwoods here, so some merchants don't stock this, but Champions thankfully do that for us. They keep plenty of stocks of this material, and it's again really important when it comes to joinery that you're looking at the material and you're checking it. The other thing as well is because it's planed all round to set dimensions, it's very, very uniform. So with regards to the joinery, we can pretty much machine all of our grooves and mouldings into this without having to make the original dimensions to size. So basically we can buy it in and pretty much work with it straight away, join it together. So that's it. I'm going to have a little look at all this material as well and move on. Going to need lots and lots of fixings. So again, they've got everything I need here. We need some 90mm nails, some 63mm nails. We've got all kinds of stuff to put on the sheathing. We've also got the main construction work as well. And of course, timber locks, timber to timber connectors and that sort of thing are super important. So I'm going to pick this lot up now and then speak to the guys at the desk, and then I'm on my way. That all looks great, mate.
Excellent.
Yeah, nice bit of gear.
Super.
So the driver's apparently going to text me.
Yeah.
Either 10 minutes or an hour before, depending where he is coming from his last job. That's what
That's right. So you get a text message night before.
Yeah.
Giving you ETA.
Good.
Within an hour.
Yep.
And then when he's about 10 minutes on his way, you get a text message saying, I'm on my way. If there's any special instructions on there to say, give us a call, he'll give you a call. Brilliant.
I'll probably have to wait down the lane for him anyway, just to sort of flag him in. It's easy to find, so but you know what these things are like when it's the first time you ever go anywhere, especially when you're driving like an 18-ton truck or something like that. And beginning of this video, I said about when I was younger, I used to go and do like, in 1986, I started my apprenticeship, and to get extra money, I had a moped, I used to go into Sutton, buy a few locks or bits and pieces and go and do little part-time jobs. Yeah. And you were at Sutton, and you've been with Champions how long?
30 years.
30 years?
Yeah, 30
I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
You were there as well, you were at Sutton for years and years. Is that where you started?
Started at Sutton, was there for 4 years. Moved to Claygate, was there for a year as assistant manager. Then manager there for 3 years. Yeah. Came here, done the company trainer for 8 years.
Did you?
Then over at Guildford for 12 and then back over here.
And so that's amazing to think, because were you in sales when you started there?
So I was in the yard.
In the yard,
Started off in the yard.
Yeah.
Then I moved to the desk.
So from the yard, you've gone all the way through.
All the way through, yeah.
And now you're running the biggest branch.
Yeah, but that's what we do. We promote within.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I know you do. Anyway, mate, thanks for everything.
Nice
I will get out and get some work done now. I'll see you soon.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you very much.
See you later.
Mate. See ya.
Oh, got caught up by your thing. Right, I'm going to go down to the joinery now to see how the lads get on down there, and that's pretty much all of my organising done for this job. Well, how about this for a lump of oak? All of this oak here is going to be what we're going to be using for all of that beautiful oak work in the garages, all the trusses that support the roofs, and then there's a walkway that goes through as well. Let me introduce you to Dan Cursor. Dan is going to be overseeing all of this. He's going to be making the majority of it. How you getting on, Dan?
Yeah, very well. Yeah, just mapping out.
It's great to see you again.
And you.
Yeah, so you've got all the oak here. Looks amazing, mate. There's masses of it.
It's fantastic, yeah. Very good quality. Like always, from English woodland timber.
Yeah, brilliant.
Very, very good service. And certainly this lot is absolutely fantastic. Dead straight, 6.3 metre pieces. These big boys, 250 for 200,
yeah, big.
6.3 long.
Big lumps.
Yeah, these ones in particular are for the trusses, truss tie beams. So yeah.
I've got to build a garage strong enough to take it all now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's phenomenal, isn't it? If you think how much weight that there's going to be going through these.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there must be 350, 400 kilos each.
Yeah, 400 kilos odd. So
probably, trusses when they're fully formed, 750 kilos, something like that.
Yeah, a big lot of weight.
Absolutely.
So you've got your rod here. This is just for the main beams, isn't it? A bit over the garage.
That's right.
And I'm going to give you all the dimensions that I've been out on site getting this morning. Yep. So once we've divulged all that, we should somewhere meet in the middle. So you'll be making this. I'll be going to cut the roof out on site.
That's it. It's exciting.
It'll turn up. We'll put this bit up, and I'll put my roof over the top.
That's
hopefully.
it. Yeah, we've got all the key information now, so we're ready to go.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's quite nice, isn't it? I mean, how do you move all this stuff around?
I have a static forklift.
Oh,
I've got a forklift, and then I've got a beam trolley inside.
All right. Okay.
So if it's wet, I can kind of get myself inside and set up.
Yeah.
But invariably, I just work outside on the hard standing here. So yeah.
That's ideal though.
Yeah, so I don't really have to lift anything, and then I have the big lorries come in and transport it all to site.
Yeah.
So minimise the lifting really.
Brilliant.
My days of lifting are over.
Yeah, so the plan is I'm going to get out on site and I'm going to do all the technical stuff. I'm only joking. This is a lot of the technical stuff. So I'm going to get out on site, but what I'm really hoping is that I can get ahead a little bit and then I can drop back in and just spend a few hours here with you doing some of this work.
Absolutely.
Because this is what really gets me up in the morning. And if it wasn't for the fact that we need to deliver a project in a certain period of time, I would have loved to have done this as well. But the other thing as well is I've just been out to check all those dimensions, and it's no good building a kit if those critical dimensions don't end up where they need to be. And yes, I think you can do that in some cases, but what we've had to consider there is actually getting the groundworks exactly right, actually getting the brickwork exactly right, and they did. It got it exactly right.
Perfect.
But it doesn't always happen. It might be, for a reason, 50 mil short in one direction, in which case that throws all the geometry out and you're just going to waste your time.
Yeah.
So in this instance, I'm going to be doing all of that stuff on site, getting it all prepared and built up. Dan will be in here doing all his bits and pieces, and then we'll have this coming together, which will be
exciting.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. It will come together as long as I do my job and you do yours.
Mate, you're brilliant. I know that there'll be no problem there. If there is, it's probably because it's a dimension I've given you wrong. But
that's going to be an exciting project to see come together. Absolutely.
It certainly is. So that probably wraps it up for this video now. So I've done pretty much all of the logistics now. The next video will be me out on site, and I'll get down here and we'll do some stuff with Dan as well. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll catch you all again soon.